Welcome back to the second hour of News Hour, and tonight I call it the opening arguments. Now, the petition has been filed in court. We'll not speak about the petition, but we'll try and walk that tightrope and get a few things out of it, because tonight I have two advocates on the table here. Gladys Boss, women rep elected, actually sitting women rep, was in Gishu County, and Saitabao Kanchori, an advocate also, and the national chief agent, Azimio. Thank you for staying with us. And I think we need to begin where we stopped, because the argument is that IEBC has given the reasons, and I'll come to you, Gladys. And because of those reasons, you feel there was justification to the postponement of elections, especially in these two areas that are very key to Azimio. But there was also a court case that really dragged on, Karungu or Gadangwa, if I'm not wrong. It dragged. How did it affect the election in Kiambu? Why is it that only these ones were affected?
Okay.
And it's the same period.
Yeah, you know, Ken, just remember what I said. I said there are many reasons that an election can be postponed. Therefore, the fact that you must have it within a certain time is we'd like it to be cast in stone, but sometimes we don't achieve that reality. And I was speaking as an election manager. By the way, I did not even follow up why those elections were postponed. Yeah, because I know, having been election manager, I have also had to make those decisions. That is why, it's not because I'm working with IEBC. I have worked in IEBC before, and we have postponed elections for various reasons. That's why I said that, and that's the only thing that I was...
What do you say to them who believe this was by design, Gladys?
You know,
to affect voter turnout in their strongholds, Mombasa and Kakamega.
You know, if someone chooses to speculate their way to an explanation to their advantage, that's okay, because they're clutching at straws to say why their vote was lost. And let me tell you, you can't go to Supreme Court to invalidate a presidential election and then talk about extraneous reasons other than the ones that affect the presidential election. The question is, did the presidential elections in Mombasa continue? The answer is yes. Did the presidential elections in other places continue? Yes. So is he going to tell us that you have many candidates who lost? Are they also going to petition the courts in governors, whatever? Are they also going to petition the courts and say it's actually lost because there was
what
no
if
government?
Your constituency
They were, for example, they lost big time in Bungoma. And you know what? The Bungoma elections continued. There was no postponement in Bungoma. So are they going to, why don't you then say the opposite? So I think if you see there is a pattern here where you can see that the attempt is to, even if you see the way they are prosecuting the case, as a lawyer, you don't throw everything and anything at the court. You must always make sure that a petition to the Supreme Court is precise and concise and focused on the invalidity of the presidential election. Now, if you look at the way they carried on, even how they went to court with truckloads of paper, one of the most embarrassing pictures that I saw was someone as senior as Martha Karua, who I have a lot of respect for, until I saw her carrying a carton box written opinion polls. Since when did opinion polls become evidence in a request to invalidate a presidential election petition?
I'm going to talk about the petition itself, but let me get this out of the way.
But I was just giving you the pattern of them throwing all sorts of things all over.
We will have time for that.
Yes.
Why do you think this gave undue advantage?
Let him explain how.
How did it give undue advantage
explain to us.
To your opponent, those two areas?
So Ken, I will answer your question, not those ones of my worthy colleague. And you noticed that I did not interrupt her. And I hope she does not interrupt me. Because if she interrupts me, then I will do the same. Now, let us start from the beginning. You know, the thing about the postponement of Mombasa and Kakamega, right? We have now said, we are saying that it is either incompetence or deliberate sabotage. Okay? And the case that we have filed in court raises very precise grounds on why we are saying the things we are saying. But here's the point. Gladys is here telling us, you know, about the evidence that we have presented. I do not know, because Gladys has never handled an election petition in the Supreme Court before. Okay? I know she has worked for IBC. I know that she's acquainted and familiar with some of these things.
2013 she was at the judiciary.
Yes. However, has she looked at our case? Because if she had looked at the case and the petition that we have presented to the Supreme Court, we are raising very specific grounds.
Do you want us to
legal
talk about
arguments? No. She has raised it.
Or we go back. We'll talk about that. But
Yes.
I was interested how you think this gives you give them undue advantage. The fact that the 2 counties were postponed. We'll talk about the petition.
You know, Ken, voter turnout in this election was a weapon deployed by Wafula Chebukati, who now we have called him out. Wafula Chebukati was essentially an agent of UDA in this election. He was an agent of UDA. He was actually...
That's a very strong accusation.
Yes. He was actually the national chief agent for the United Democratic Alliance. There was no difference between Wafula Chebukati and William Ruto in this election. Wafula Chebukati, the things that Wafula Chebukati did in this election, I can tell you for free on this table. I can tell you for free on this table. When all that we have disclosed comes out in the open, Wafula Chebukati will be in prison behind bars because he's nothing but a scumbag and a criminal.
You can't call him.
No. I'm telling you that on national TV because I have been sitting for 1 week collecting evidence
which is to
against Wafula Chebukati. I have been sitting for 1 week, 24 hours a day without sleep.
But you can't still call him that.
No, I'm telling
national television.
Ken, if you have taken the liberty to understand our case shows how Wafula Chebukati overthrew the Constitution of Kenya to the benefit of his preferred candidate, William Ruto. That is what he did. He overthrew the Constitution of Kenya, subverted the will of the people of Kenya for no other reason other than to give his preferred candidate, William Ruto, an undue advantage in this election.
Okay. Very interesting, because if you look at how the election evolved, Gladys, the tail end of this process, that's when the concerns were there, and I'm going to talk about that. But let me take you back to the petition. Airtight, watertight evidence that will be produced in court against Chebukati, against the commission. What happens here? Is it the commission being targeted, or is Chebukati being targeted? Because we're talking about Chebukati here.
First of all, I think Saitabao, let me correct you. I've been involved in election petitions. I may not be among those 45 minutes speaking before the court, but I have consulted, researched, and know what I'm talking about. When you say that if I had read your case, actually, I've not only read Raila Omolo Odinga's petition and his supporting affidavits, plus the extra supporting affidavits, because he has not only has him and Martha as petitioners and co-petitioners done prepared supporting affidavits, they also have other people, various people, giving them swearing witness affidavits. I have not only read that one, I have also read the one of Okia Mtata, I have read the one of Khalifa, I have read the one of the youth, young people something. So I've read all 9 of them. So I am not speaking as if off the cuff. I have read them. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So in any case, we're not here to prosecute the case, but we can give highlights about it. But what I want to say is that for me, I was saying that if you see the kind of psychological warfare, because instead of arguing the specifics, because even now when you have explained that, tell him to give us the specifics of how the voter turnout, I mean, the fact that these 2 elections were postponed affected their voter turnout. You give me specifics. Say that I know there is some 100,000 people who didn't go to vote because actually the only way they can vote for the president is because they love the governor, and if the governor is not there to take them to the polling station, then they will not vote for the president. Because you have to give me a logical explanation like that. You have to give specifics. Every time you plead something in court,
I was about to give
specifics,
but you cut me short.
Now you're the interrupter.
And
then, I mean, and even in 2013, I was involved in the vote scrutiny at the Supreme Court. I was heading it, and I understand it. the ability of ODM to do things for showbiz. If you look, they are presenting their papers, they carry supporters, and then escort themselves to their headquarters in KICC and make speeches. In KICC, Martha Karua herself, and there's a clip for it and I want you to play it, where she says, we have tallied the results. After all, they were in the public portal and we know the result. The issue is, and then in her own petition and in her own supporting affidavit, she's saying that the portal was compromised. So if you have figures that show you win, then which portal were you referring to? So she's even contradicting herself in a span of 3 days. And that's why I'm saying a lot of this is hype and to confuse their supporters and to make their supporters believe that there is something sinister. Okay. So this is just probably a plan to have a nice exit out of politics. When they tell everybody, when you hear everyone shouting that the portal was hacked, this went on with the portal and so on, the question is, the portal was a public portal. So every single person in Kenya and the world had access to it. BBC, they had the tally from that same public portal. Reuters did their tally from that same public portal and actually said that William Ruto was the winner. All the observers, yes, they did. They called him. In fact, they called him before the announcement.
They put him ahead. I don't think
they put him ahead.
Yes,
but basically, yes, but I'm just saying they basically had looked at the same portal. Lastly, Saitabao knows very well that what comes on the public portal is the provisional result. What is the final result is the Form 34A in its original form,
the physical one,
coming to Bomas. And in fact, if you remember Saitabao, the time we started receiving results, according to us as agents at Bomas, is when the Webuye West returning officer was the first to report
Webuye
in
East.
Bomas. Yes, well, Webuye East. I don't know if it was Webuye. Then the last one was the one of Turkana. So those were the results. And we've sat with you as each result came. We had UV lights to verify the forms. Okay. And in fact, they stole our UV lights. Okay. Because we had brought extra UV lights to help the process move faster.
I didn't know that Gladys can make such allegations on the floor of on national TV. But let me say this, yeah. And we are talking about very delicate and sensitive matters, and I didn't want to bring up some things on this table today. But the truth of the matter is that Gladys herself is a suspect and an accused person, right? In the interference and manipulation, in the criminal interference and manipulation of election results in the presidential elections of 2022. We have evidence that we have presented both to the DCI and to the police with OB numbers and police reports of her people, her agents that she was facilitating on the floor of Bomas, who, the documents that we found and the laptops that we presented to the police, including, and the phones that we presented, all of them contain very incriminating evidence against my colleague here and her party and her principal and the IEBC. Ken, some of these things are under investigations, and I don't want to preempt the investigations, but we have presented compelling evidence in our petition to show that there was a criminal scheme to manipulate the elections using all manner of schemes, unbelievable, schemes. We have shown before the Supreme Court that UDA essentially had what they call in technology terms a black server. In technology terms, that is a clone of the IEBC server. They were given all the rights that Wafula Chebukati himself had.
And you have proof to that?
We have proof.
Okay.
We have proof, and we have affidavits of credible witnesses giving first-hand information. You know, and I say this is sensitive information, but in due course it will be available.
No,
in
it's
public.
already
In the
there.
public.
It's already in our affidavits.
It's already in our affidavits.
Yes, so it's a public document.
Actually, you've spent about 3 or 4 pages
and
just
let me tell you,
discussing it.
and let me tell you, Ken, one of our witnesses is John Githongo, a man who has never told a lie in his life. If you put John Githongo here and you put Gladys or anybody else that she wants to bring, Kenyans will believe John Githongo. And that is one of our witnesses. A man who has stood for the truth, a man who has stood for this country, who has sacrificed everything there is to sacrifice
that truth
for
will
this
be
country.
tested. That truth will
The
be
truth will be tested.
Yes,
Let me
that
finish.
truth will be
Let me
tested.
finish.
Yes, please.
Yes,
We have evidence that whatever was getting into the public portal, and that is why even in terms of the tally, we stopped at some point, because some of the evidence, some of the information we were relying on was in the public portal.
Okay.
But when we realized that the public portal itself was not credible, that we were getting from our agents on the ground forms, especially in their strongholds, yeah, in Bomet and in other places, and we have presented those documents in court, where you find a polling station in Bomet. We have a form 34A that shows that Raila Odinga had 280 votes.
Yeah.
He's given 08 votes, and the 200 plus votes are given to William Ruto.
Okay.
We have those forms. We have those forms,
Okay,
Ken.
Ken,
I'm going to give you all that
no,
time.
let
that
me
he's
let me
taken.
finish.
Yes.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Those forms are there. We have presented these forms in our case. IBC printed 2 booklets. 2 booklets.
34 book 1
34A, 1 of 2 and 2 of 2.
Yes.
We now realized, and we objected, and they said they will not use them. What they did, and what Wafula Chebukati and his co-conspirators, criminal conspirators, did, they just gave William Ruto the ones that he wanted.
Okay.
So for areas in his strongholds, he wanted in Bomet, he was given book 2. He was given in Narok. He was given in Kirinyaga.
Okay.
We have the evidence, Ken.
Okay.
Okay, allow me to go through this, and kindly do not interrupt me. First of all, let me just talk about the issue of the result form. I think, and you were present, when they had the simulation and the presentation, they actually tested and explained to us how the system works. So first of all, let Kenyans know that result form, in order for you, even if somebody gave you the result form, if you didn't have the KIMS kit, which had an identical QR code with it, it would not send to the system. And you were there when it was being shown to us. You even had people you called IT experts who attended the meeting in Bomas, and a simulation was done from various parts of the country. So the issue is, you know, truly, and you will, that system, you cannot just pick any form. So if you give me a form, I can't send it. And in any case, to send it, you needed to use the fingerprint of the returning officer. That's one. Number 2, when you say that you have now said you thought the portal was okay, and then now you didn't rely on it again because now you found it was compromised. The question is, you were with us in Bomas, forget that there was a portal. You were present at the presentation of all 290 original Form 34As. And in fact, that is the result.
I hear 27 were not presented.
And no, that's again another twist.
Constituencies.
Am I allowed to?
Okay, proceed.
Yeah. So again, they were present in Bomas. At no time did I see them complaining about it. When they do talk about us having had laptops in Bomas, is because I could not carry 46,000 odd forms times 12 desks, because we had 12 verification desks happening. And so the prudent thing is to have them in soft copies. But eventually they took away they took away our laptops. But they had no laptops themselves. So what were they verifying against? How were they looking at that portal without a computer? That is the strange part. And had they done their own tally, they would have downloaded those forms one by one, which took 3 days immediately after elections. Let's go to the issue of saying that there is criminal manipulation and so on. Hold on. First of all, it is a wonder and a miracle in this country that you're not yet arrested. You committed multiple election offenses on live television, covered by even international press. Any disruption that you do in an electoral area is an election offense. Attacking the electoral commissioners and officers, even a clerk at the polling station, is an election offense. When you are appointed as a chief agent, you remember that you are actually like an election official. You have the code of conduct. You're supposed to sign the oath of secrecy and so on. But instead, what did you do? You flaunted that. By the time a whole senator elected in this country goes to the place of an electoral area, or where the electoral commission is doing its work, and attacks the electoral officials with arungu and causes fracas and even taking over the microphone of the electoral commission is an electoral offense. So yes, you have committed multiple election offenses on camera. No, that's not my job to do. And then the issue is, the police were there when it was being done. When they talk about criminal manipulation, I have seen it. They've dedicated more than 3 pages of their petition, and in it they make the same allegations he has made, but there are no specifics. You know, when you say somebody entered a portal, then you have a forensic, because the thing about entering a portal, you may enter it, but it can be tracked. And you can see who entered it at what time and all that. Digital footprint. Yes. When you look at the digital footprint of whatever screenshots Githongo was giving, even a child can see this is fake. What he has done, he has taken a screenshot from the 2017 portal and so on, which was used as a simulation. That's why it says this was uploaded at 10:30 and so many thousand forms and completed. No. He's talked about they have multiple information.
No. Are you going to allow people, in this case, we are not prosecuting the petition.
No, you just alleged that I was part of a criminal enterprise.
No, she's getting into evidence.
You opened
that. You opened that. No. You cannot have your cake and eat it.
Let us show you. Let us show you.
That is fake. I was going to ask her.
That's why I'm explaining. And that's why I'm explaining. And he has said part of the issue, my criminal enterprise and my manipulation is being confirmed by Githongo's affidavit, which I've read. So yes, now that you've raised it, I have the right.
Show where?
I have the right to
just show it.
But bring it.
We agree now.
No, Ken, you have to allow me to respond.
I'll allow you. But especially on that digital footprint, the forms that we have.
It's in the internet. Even Kenyans have assessed it.
But
also,
we can't verify
you can't verify it. But he has just simply referred to an accusation against me.
Yeah.
I am responding to that accusation. When they say that the portal was accessed by the computer allegedly held by me at a certain time, and then later dumped 11,000 forms. Actually, by that time, all forms had been uploaded by IEBC, save for 3,000.
But you were substituting. You were substituting forms.
Okay. So it is. Let's do this. I mean, their whole case is based on fiction.
Okay.
And trying to clutch at straws and explain. They are saying this is the worst. The worst.
Disproportionate allocation of time.
6 long minutes.
Yeah.
No, has he given? Did you give him? He said the
he actually did 4 minutes on that.
Disproportionate allocation of time.
Yeah.
Ken,
but at least Ken had to prosecute
Gladys.
Yes. I had to explain because he has just called me the biggest criminal.
Yeah.
She is an electoral offender, but she has said, Gladys has said that I should be arrested. All right. And Ken, I want to tell you that if this country had any, qualms about electoral justice, if this country cared about its heroes and liberators, Saitabao Kanchori would be counted as one of those people. Saitabao Kanchori. No, listen, Ken. No, Ken.
Yeah.
Allow me my time.
Yeah, you will get your time.
Saitabao Kanchori is a defender of the Constitution of Kenya.
Physically, not by law.
Saitabao Kanchori has stood for what is right for this country. And I want to tell you, Ken, if there is anybody who is to be arrested and who ought to be arrested for committing egregious offenses against the people of Kenya, egregious offenses, it is the lady sitting right next to me and Wafula Chebukati and others. I want to tell you this. The Constitution requires elections to be conducted in a certain manner. Okay? The Constitution requires that the chairperson, being part of a commission, the commission conducts elections. It is not the chairperson that conducts elections. The Constitution requires that the commission, as IEBC, conducts elections, supervises elections, and so on. And if you look at all the provisions, Article 81, Article 86, Article 88, Article 183, all the requirements of the Constitution, 138, not 183, 138, 3C, it is the commission that conducts elections. As part of that conduct, the commission is supposed to tally, the commission is supposed to verify. As a commission, if you look at the IEBC Act, and my colleague here worked for the IEBC, but she has forgotten everything that the IEBC Act provides. The IEBC Act, Section 5, Section 8, Schedule 2, the commission is supposed to act in meetings conducted for the purpose of the decisions that are supposed to be made in a meeting. In those meetings, the decisions of IEBC are supposed to be either unanimous or by majority. The commission is made up of seven members. The chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, and 6 commissioners. The commission, in this case, for all the purposes of this election, was fully constituted, made up of the 7 members, the chairperson and 6 commissioners. The majority decision, therefore, was a decision of 4 out of 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What is it? No, Gladys. I know I'm stepping on very raw toes, but wait, I have to say this. Chebukati decided to usurp the role of the commission. He decided to be a law unto himself. He decided to be the Alpha and the Omega, which the law does not allow him to be. He decided that the voice of the minority in the commission, that is himself and his 2 co-conspirators, Gulier and Molu, the commissioners, there are only 2, so making 3 together with the chairman. He decided that the 3 will override and overrule the majority, who are the 4.
On what?
On the decision of how to tally. What is the tally, first of all? How to tally. Even just how to tally, he kept all these things. He decided to make it a one-man show. He kept the entire commission and the rest of the commissioners.
From your observation?
No. From what the other 4 commissioners have said.
From what
they
the
were
other
completely
said.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about how Chebukati decided to make this process
based on what
a
the
one-man show.
said, yes.
He made it very opaque.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Ken? And the good thing is that I took a picture of the screen at Bomas. Yeah, on I think it was 13th at around 11 a.m. when they were still displaying the results at Bomas. And as soon as Chebukati saw that the screen at Bomas will not allow him to do what he needed to do, he switched it off.
Okay.
No, wait. You know, elections are supposed to be transparent.
Yeah.
They are supposed to be verifiable. They're supposed to be accurate. They're supposed to be all these things that they were not in this case.
Okay.
And Chebukati made it very clear that he is the only one who had a clear view and visibility of what was happening, so that he can end up with the result.
Why did you complain at that point?
We complained.
At that point, you raised it
all the way.
You raised it
Yes,
at that point.
yes.
The
And by the way, I have an audio clip which will be going out even in the Supreme Court of how Wafula Chebukati decided. He refused to share results even with the chief agent for Azimio. Let me conclude by saying this.
Yes.
I, as a Kenyan citizen, under Article 3 of the Constitution, I have an obligation to defend the Constitution of Kenya. And that is what I was doing. I was telling Chebukati, you cannot overthrow the Constitution of Kenya. I was telling Chebukati that you are not IBC.
Okay.
I was telling Chebukati that you are not above the law. I am proud of what I did. I will do it again any day.
Gladys, I have to take a quick break, just 1 minute break. When I come back, I'd like to ask you, Saitabao.
No. You have said so much that I need to respond to.
This is important. If he thinks his conduct on the floor is justified because he was defending
he has already said it's justified.
It's justified.
And he said he's a hero.
Okay, we're taking the break. We're coming back in a moment.
Even though he says so by himself. I...